Hello everyone, my name is Babin Alam Khan. Today I am here to present a short reflection video related to this week. So today this lecture was about voice and data network and how communication technology have evolved from the traditional telephone system to the modern digital communication system. So in slide number 1, the lecture introduced the topic of beyond local area network. Uh, from slide 2 and 3, the learning objective was were explained. This slide discuss understanding telephone system, local and long distance communication, DSL, cable modems, framed relay, ATM, and convergence in networking technologies. If we look slide number 4, the lecture explain the introduction of the voice and data communication. It show how traditional voice communication and data communication have now merged into one modern digital network system. If we look from slide number 5 to 11, the lecture discuss telephone lines, trunk, and telephone number. This slide explain the local loop, central office, LATA, telephone trunk, area codes, and the process of making telephone cells, the telephone network. It also explain a concept like POTS, PBX, Centrex, and the private leased lines. So from slide 12 to 16, the lecture explained on the telephone network before and after 1984. These slides discuss the breakup of AT&T, the creation of local exchange carriers and inter-exchange carrier, and how the telecommunication industry changed after the modifying final judgment. Now from slide number 17 to 19, the lecture focused on the Telecommunication Act of 1996. It explained how competition increased in local services and how new companies were allowed the private communication services alongside the traditional provider. So then after, if we look from slide number 20 to 22, the lecture explained the limitation of the telephone signals. This slide discuss how ports line support only around 4,000 hertz bandwidth, which limit internet speed and data transfer data. So from 23 to 26, the lecture explained dial-up internet services and 56K modems. This slide describes how analog and digital signals work together in dial-up communication and why dial-up internet is slow compared to the modem internet services. So these are all the slides. If we look from slide 27 to 31, the lecture introduced DSL technology. This slide explains DSL bases, symmetric and asymmetric connection, DSLM splitters, DSLM modems, and different DSL formats such as ADSL, VDSL, and RADSL. Now from 30 to 34, the lecture explains the cable modem system. This slide describe how the cable internet work using cable television infrastructure and the cable modem architecture and the component. So from 35 to 38, the lecture discuss the T1 leased line services. These slides explain T1 T1 speed channels, CSU, DSU devices, and how the T1 support both voice and data communication for businesses. So from 39 to 43, the lecture explained the frame relay technology. This slide discuss frame the relay network, PVC connection ports, and the committed information rate or CIR agreements between the businesses and the service providers. So if we look 44 to 48, the lecture introduced the ATM or asynchronous transfer mode. This slide explains ATM speed, virtual channel classes of services like CABR and VBR, ATM sales structure, and the advantage and disadvantage of ATM networks. So in 49, the lecture explained the MPLS VPN technology. It discussed how the businesses was secure VPN tunnels and MPLS labels to send safely the internet. So finally, these are all the things I have learned. So finally, in the summary slides, the lecture review all the major concepts including ports, DSL cable, modem, T1 lines from relay, ATM, VoIP, convergence, and on unified communication. The lecture helped me understand how traditional telephone system evolved into the modern high-speed communication network used by the businesses and the individual today. So these all are the things that I have learned in this week. So thank you so much.